Veteran heavyweight Amir Mansour will return to the ring on February 25th on the undercard of Deontay Wilder's next title defense in Birmingham, Alabama, against Travis Kauffman. Some of you may remember that Kauffman had a close fight with Chris Arreola. I believe that was in 2015, I think. A lot of people felt that Kauffman won the fight, but Arreola was given a fight on a split decision, and it was later changed to a no contest because Arreola failed a drug test. I think it was for marijuana. So Kauffman officially has only lost one fight, and that was much earlier on in his career. He's a southpaw. I believe he may have had a period of inactivity in his career. I haven't been following this guy's career too closely, to be honest, but from what I do know about him, I have seen him a few times. I believe he had a period of inactivity because he had a conviction, quite a serious conviction earlier on. And I think he might have served some jail time over that conviction. If you want to look up what that conviction was, you can just Google it and you'll find out. It's pretty serious stuff. But nonetheless, he's still fighting. I think he's only in his early 30s now, Travis Kauffman. Amir Mansour, also a southpaw. Mansour, what is he now, 44, 45? He's quite old now, Mansour, but he is in tremendous condition for a man of that age. And just like Kauffman, Mansour also spent time, serious time in prison. I think he did like 10 years. And I believe he violated the terms of his release, and he may have gone back to prison for a short time. So he's done a lot of time in prison, Amir Mansour. That's why he's so late in the game of boxing, because he was actually around, I believe, in the early 2000s, late 90s. But his stint in prison interrupted all that for pretty serious charges, pretty serious convictions as well. So anyway, the two of these guys fighting. Mansour, I think, is slightly shorter, much older. It's going to be interesting to see what Mansour's like after being out of the ring for so long, because it will be well over a year by the time he gets into the ring with Kauffman since he fought. His last fight, I think, was the Dominic Breazeale fight. He lost that fight. He, I believe, quit on his stool because he had a badly lacerated tongue. There was some talk that he'd actually had a broken jaw, but there was conflicting reports about that. Some reports were saying, no, he didn't have a broken jaw. It was just a badly lacerated tongue. And other people were saying he did have a broken jaw. So I don't know. Either way, he quit on his stool in that fight. And that was at least a year ago now. And it'll be over a year by the time he gets in the ring with Kauffman. Kauffman is more of a technician than he is a puncher or a brawler or anything like that. Whereas Mansour is definitely much more of a brawler. He is a guy who uses his physicality over anything else. He's not a guy that really thinks too much about the skill element of the game. In most fights anyway. When he fought Joey DeWayco, he actually boxed quite well in that fight against DeWayco. He kept it long. He was cautious. He came in much lighter than normal. He came in about 210 pounds or something, which is very light for Amir Mansour. And he boxed and kept DeWayco at a distance. But generally, he goes in there and he's like a bull in a china shop. He just tries to swing and punch you as hard as he can wherever he can hit you, whether it's on the arms, the chest, the body, the head, anywhere. He just goes in there to try and hit you extremely hard. That's what he did against Dominic Breazeale, and it kind of backfired on him against Breazeale, because people can talk about him having a freak injury to his tongue and swallowing blood and all that kind of stuff. But why did he have that injury? Because he got punched in the mouth. So his aggressiveness definitely played against him, and his recklessness played against him in the Dominic Breazeale fight. So it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches the Kauffman fight, as I say, particularly after being out the ring for so long. Kauffman's last fight, I think, was September this year, 2016. So, and I think he only fought once in 2016 as well. So he hasn't been particularly active, but he has at least fought fairly recently. So that's a training camp that he did go through. I'm interested to see what happens in this fight. A lot of people have kind of lost favor with, or Mansour has lost favor with a lot of boxing fans, I would say, particularly after the Dominic Breazeale fight. So I don't know if there'll be that much interest in this fight. There probably won't. But it's a decent enough undercard fight, I would say, for Deontay Wilder. And we've also got Dominic Breazeale taking on somebody on the Deontay Wilder undercard. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. I'll do a separate video about it, but it's also a fairly interesting... Actually, I do remember. Artur Szpilka. That's who is fighting Dominic Breazeale on the Wilder undercard. So we got Wilder fighting Warzek or Warchek, however you pronounce his name. Then Mansour against Kauffman, and Breazeale against Szpilka. Apart from the Wilder fight, which we don't know how that's going to turn out, but the opponent is questionable in terms of does he deserve a title shot. But the other two fights I mentioned there, they're fairly interesting fights. I mean, they're not setting the world alight, but they're competitive matchups. The fighters themselves may not be that high level, but above all else, when it comes to boxing, I'm interested in competitive matchups. Yeah? There's nothing worse than one-sided fights. We want competitive matchups. No matter what level the fight is at, it could be at domestic level, European level, fringe world level, all world level, or the very, very elite. Whatever level it's at, there is an audience for it, as long as the fights are competitive. And that's what we want. So I think those are competitive fights. Let me know what you think about Amir Mansour versus Travis Kauffman. Who do you think is going to win the fight? It wouldn't at all surprise me to see Kauffman win, particularly with Mansour's age, the fact he's been out for so long. And Kauffman can actually box a bit. He can actually fight a bit. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I also wouldn't be surprised to see Mansour win. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman Amal.